Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tubby Time. Today we are going to be making a delicious Stromboli here in our kitchen. It's going to be delicious. Let's get started. You can go. Anyway, yeah, we're making a Stromboli. It's going to be lit. We're going to be using many ingredients. We got some peppers, we got some onions, we got some ground beef, we got some pepperoni, got some garlic, and it's going to be just, like I said, delicious. And mozzarella, too. Don't forget that. So basically just like a house special, if you will. Minus some mushrooms, because all you that like mushrooms gross me out. What do we got here? We got a nice hot skillet. We have that on probably too high, but whatever. Gonna throw down some canola oil, and we have some 80-20 ground beef. We're gonna throw this in the skillet to cook it thoroughly before we throw it into our Stromboli or whatever. You want to make sure you do that. And we're looking for that nice sizzle. So for this recipe, we're using like a pound, just about, as actually like 0.9, something like that. Let's season this with some nice sea salt, fresh ground black pepper, and the creme de la creme, fresh ground garlic. And when I say fresh, I mean from a can. I also have some minced onion I'm going to put in here just from a previous recipe because I want to use it. We're going to use onion, we're going to use more onion, I should say, for the rest of it. We're just going to ground this up. Now, you don't need to use a cast iron skillet for this, but this is what we do because we're professionals. We just want to get it cooked, not too much. We want to make sure it's brown throughout. While that's cooking down, we're going to take our knife and our cutting board, and we have half of a yellow onion. We're just going to cut this up into strips. And just for easy eating, I'm just going to cut these into thirds. So there we go. Throw all this stuff into a bowl. Just make sure while you're doing this, you're keeping an eye on your ground beef because you don't want that to burn or anything like that. Next, we have our green pepper. And we're just going to take this and dice this into strips. And then once we dice the strips, we're going to dice the strips. And then once that's done, we're going to throw it into the bowl. Give this a nice mix just to make sure that our ratios are good. I think they're pretty good. We might not use all of this, but that's what we got. Now we're just focusing on our ground beef. Looks like it's getting there. It's not bad. And just keep in mind, we added onion to this, so you know, this onion's gonna cook down, sort of, but we wanna make sure that we have a good onion to pepper ratio. I'm really trying to make sure all this ground beef is very fine, so I don't want big chunks of ground beef in my Stromboli. And now what we'll do, since we're using a cast iron skillet, we don't have a lid for this, we're gonna drain it just in this. We'll put it in the sink, let it sit, and we will be good to go. Oh my God, this is heavy. Oh my fuck. I want to make sure we get all these bits out because we spent good money on this ground beef. It was like $4. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit so the grease drains out. And now here is Cayla.
You're so annoying. Now that Josh has prepared everything, we are going to start with our dough. Oh, no, we're not. I lied. We're going to start with flour. Just putting a little bit of flour around the countertop because the dough is sticky and you don't want it to stick to the counter. And then I'm going to get a little bit more dough to put on your hands. Now we can take it out. You can buy pre-made pizza dough. I made dough from my bread machine, which we will be doing an episode on that in the coming weeks. So you can see it's a little sticky, and that's why we have the flour. Oh, can you give me a rolling pin? I forgot that. Thank you. I forgot. Oh, stop. Do not have someone do this because sticky. It will stick. Bad. I'm going to sprinkle some more flour on the dough, and then you want to put more flour all over the rolling pin. So I'm just trying to flatten it out as much as I can with my hands. Doesn't really do a lot. And I'm just putting more flour on it so it's not sticky. And now we can start rolling. The goal is to get the dough to a rectangle. Not sure how long this is gonna take, but you just wanna put a lot of pressure down when you're rolling it. Oops. If it's not an exact rectangle, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I hope not. And you can even bring it up and kind of pull on the sides and just let it stretch. So I'm just going all around. You don't want to stay holding one side because then that one side will get a lot thinner and then it won't cook as even. So this will take a few minutes, but you just got to keep working at it and it'll get there. Oh, you can see it's a little sticky over here. So we're going to add some more flour. Oops. You may knock everything off of the counter in the process, and it is what it is. I'm going to flip it, add a little bit more flour. So if you don't want to do all this work, just get pre-made pizza dough from the grocery store. Now I'm rolling it pretty thin.
Unlike you.
Yep, unlike Josh and I. All right, I think I'm gonna stop there. It doesn't seem to be, what's the opposite of expanding? Contracting?
Not expanding.
Not expanding anymore. Pretty thin. Not an exact rectangle, but it's fine. We'll work with it. So now we can start layering. I do want to flip this over one more time. I want to make sure it doesn't get stuck to the table. Gonna add a little bit more flour. Yeah, that looks fine. Actually, it just shrunk again. I just messed this up. I'm gonna have to roll it out a little bit more. I didn't want it to stick. That was my whole reasoning of doing that. Okay, that's fine. Pepperoni. We're gonna start layering the bottom with pepperoni. We buy regular pepperoni from the grocery store. You don't have to go to the deli and get something special unless you want to. This brand is Carando. I don't know if I said that right. I'm leaving the little extra space by the edges. So when we fold this, nothing should spill out, hopefully. Okay, I think that's enough. Next, we're going to layer the ground beef. Make sure the ground beef is strained out. Ooh, it's still pretty greasy, so gonna shake it up. Nothing else seems to be coming out. Probably won't be perfect. You just don't want a lot of grease in it like the amount that there was in the pan prior. Originally, I thought we could add sauce first, and then I can use a spoon, spread it out, but I forgot. Don't want a lot of sauce because once the stromboli has been cooked, that's what you're gonna dip it into more sauce. Just a little bit, spread out. That'll be fine. Now I think I'm gonna do the cheese. Shredded mozzarella. Again, nothing fancy. So a stromboli, I guess, is like a pizza without all the sauce. But it's not a calzone either because it's wrapped differently. We like a lot of cheese. I think I might just use this whole bag. All right. And now we can add the onions and peppers that he diced up in strips because that makes sense.
$20, you can't close this thing.
I'm not taking that bet. One thing that I'm curious about is that the vegetables, the onions and peppers, they have like a lot of water. They don't have a lot of water. That sounded stupid. They have like moisture in them. So I'm wondering if that's gonna leak out or make it soggy. I hope it doesn't. Now we're gonna add our seasonings, starting with the Italian seasoning. I give generously Italian seasoning. Next, red pepper flakes. I don't like a ton of them, but Josh does. So go with a happy medium. Happy medium! And pepper. I don't know how I'm gonna close this thing. And then we will sprinkle with a dash of salt. A couple dashes of salt. A few dashes of salt. Yep. Okay. I'm going to fold the edges in first. Pat them down a little bit. And now, I'm going to do one side and then the other.
I'm here for backup. All right.
I think we should put a little bit of melted butter on here.
Yes. Yeah.
To
Do you want to do the butter next?
Yeah, you do the butter.
All right.
Go melt it.
I'm just using a little bit of butter. I'm trying to talk to the microphone. I'm just using a little bit of butter, like a quarter stick, not even.
2 tablespoons.
Yeah, sure. And have this. Use it, please. No, seriously, like, because I thought that's all the butter we had, so. Like, as far as like a small portion.
Oh, Lord, now you have to unwrap more butter. Such a pain. Oh, my God. It takes a whole nother 30 seconds. That's what you get.
That's what you get. Get in front of the camera.
No, watch it.
So because somebody forgot we have a butter holder, I'm going to be using the rest of the butter that we had in the fridge, which is a half stick. Because someone sucks at keeping a kitchen clean.
That's because you always keep it messy. Go to your station.
You go to your station.
You're pissing me off.
Squeezing.
No, now I have to re-wash my face. Now I have to re-shower because of you. Who am I? Let me just bring a whole counter to shit. Like, what is that? I already cleaned that. Now that we have our melted butter, I'm going to lightly brush it on top of the dough, hoping that this will make this part of the dough stick to this side when I flip it. Here we go. Looks like a pretty good log to me. And we're gonna brush more butter over the whole top of it now. Seal it up a little bit more on the sides. So I do think I overpacked this Stromboli. I think what is supposed to happen is you fold one side with some of the filling, and then you fold the other side with more of the filling, so you actually end up having the dough, and then filling, and then dough, and then filling, and then dough again. And this is just gonna be dough with just a lot of filling in the center, which will be fine. I'm sure it'll still taste great, but it doesn't have the rolls like a regular Stromboli. Like the pinwheel thing look.
Thankfully you have the rolls to make them for it.
Yes. Yes, Josh and I have enough rolls. I am making a mess. And you know what's going to be so much fun now is trying to put this on a tray. Okay, and now we can sprinkle on a little bit more garlic on the top of it. This is going to turn out great. I already know it. I'm sprinkling on a little bit of salt.
Why are you yelling? What is wrong with you?
Because if for whatever reason, if people are blind, they can't see me sprinkling on salt when I say sprinkling on salt. I'm going to repeat myself louder. Now I'm sprinkling on some garlic.
Do you want to yell it or no? I don't know if people can hear you in the cheap seats.
So I preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and the best thing to use is a pizza tray or a crisping tray because the holes will allow the air to get underneath as to not make it soggy.
Wait! Don't fuck it up. Damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy! He thick! Boy! It's one thick-ass boy.
It looks good. I did a great job. Now we can put this in the oven. We're going to keep looking at it over time, but we're going to start off with putting it in for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes turned into 50. Let's take a look at it. Definitely browned. The garlic burned, but it has a nice even color all over. The reason this took so long was because we needed an internal temperature of about 190 to 200 degrees, just so everything would cook inside and the cheese would be all melted, so it took a lot longer. But it's done. We're gonna let it cool for 10 minutes, and then we will be able to cut into it and do our taste test. Cut pretty nicely. Ta-da! Just rip it apart a little bit. How does that look? Looks good to me. Smells great. It's melted and looks delicious.
So we put this on a cutting board so we don't ruin the pan. And it looks really good.
It's going to be super hot.
What is going on there? I would like some ingredients in that, please.
Burn my lip. It's really messy, but it tastes good.
It does taste very good. You outdid yourself. This is delicious.
Don't think we needed the garlic on top.
No.
But I think the ingredients that we used inside all worked really well together. I think it's a perfect amount of ground beef. Same with the peppers and onions. I think we did a good amount of pepper and red pepper flakes and Italian seasoning. There's a lot of flavor in it. I'm happy.
So I'm going to take this.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Goodbye.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to keep on watching us every week when we post new videos. And stay safe and happy and healthy. And until next time, stay tubby.